Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the story behind one of YouTube's biggest sailing channels, and it's a real paradox. We're going to look at how a dream life of sun and sea, pulling in over $1 million a year, was actually born from a moment of profound personal crisis.
So let's just start with the number that gets everybody's attention, an estimated $1.1 million in annual income. Now, this isn't just a salary, right? For a lot of people, this is the ultimate symbol of the modern creator dream, getting paid to live a life that most of us can only imagine.
I mean, this is it. This is the creator economy in action, right? A life of sun-soaked adventure funded directly by a loyal audience. But as we're about to see, this incredible number, well, it really only tells half the story.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at that $1 million YouTuber dream. Then, the grounded, unexpected beginning of it all. We'll get into how the Doodles defined the brand, the storms and heartbreak that followed, the business of adventure, and finally, the next voyage.
All right, first up, let's dive into that dream, the picture-perfect image, the one that's presented to hundreds of thousands of subscribers week after week.
And yeah, it's a super compelling vision. It's what built this massive, dedicated following. But here's the twist. The journey didn't start on some beautiful turquoise water in the Caribbean. Nope, it started grounded, inside a hospital room.
So yeah, let's get into how this whole thing actually began. It is this wild story of reinvention that was born from a totally life-altering crisis.
Okay, just look at the scale of this pivot. It's staggering, really. For 20 years, Bobby White was a corporate pilot, flying jets. Then, a hemorrhagic stroke just ends his career in an instant. After spending months just reteaching himself how to read, he sells everything, buys a tiny $24,000 boat, and bets it all on a completely new life at sea.
Now, that name, Sailing Doodles, yeah, that wasn't just some random choice. The channel was quite literally built around its two biggest and, furriest stars.
Maverick and Goose. I mean, they were so much more than just pets. They were the emotional soul of the channel. So their departure, Maverick to cancer and Goose to a well-deserved retirement, it wasn't just a change in the cast. For longtime viewers, it really felt like the end of an era, and it left a huge void right at the heart of the story.
Okay, so this is where we get to the grind part of the story. This is where that idyllic dream just slams right into a series of relentless and costly storms, both literal and personal.
So the first big blow? It comes in 2017. He leaves his boat in a Puerto Rican marina, thinking it's safe. But then Hurricane Maria just decimates the island. The boat was so damaged, he ultimately had to just give it away for free.
And then there's this number. Over $100,000. That's the estimated cost to repair his second boat after a series of major failures at sea. A 48-hour solo sail turned into an absolute nightmare that ended with a Coast Guard rescue.
And, to make things even worse, his insurance company basically said, nope, we're not paying. So with his back against the wall, what does he do? He actually has to release this really harrowing rescue footage as a pay-per-view video, asking his audience to directly fund the repairs. And here's the really crucial thing to get. The hardships, they weren't just about money or broken boat parts. They were deeply, deeply personal. The loss of Maverick, the constant turnover of partners and crew, it all played out in public for an audience of hundreds of thousands. So, you might be asking yourself, how on earth does the channel not only survive all this, but then go on to afford a brand new multi-million-dollar boat? Well, let's look at the business engine that keeps this whole adventure afloat.
Okay, so the income stream is actually pretty diversified. And what's really surprising, based on some outside analysis, is that merchandise, t-shirts, hats, that kind of thing, is the biggest piece of the pie. That's followed by your standard YouTube ad revenue and, crucially, direct fan support through platforms like Patreon.
So this is basically the engine that drives the whole thing. It's this powerful, self-sustaining loop. You watch an ad, or you buy a t-shirt, or you join his Patreon, and that money gets turned directly into the cash they need to maintain the boat, fund the trips, and create more content for you to watch. And all of that reinvestment, all that community support, has led to the channel's 10th season. And it is by far its most ambitious and most expensive chapter yet.
And what's the result of all that? It's this, a brand new $1.5 million hybrid electric catamaran. We're not just talking about an upgrade here. This is the real deal, the platform for the ultimate sailing dream, a full trip around the entire globe.
And in what's just a really powerful, emotional move, he names the new boat Maverick. It's this incredible way of connecting the ambitious future of the channel all the way back to its heartfelt origins and one of its original stars.
So, what's the big picture here? What can we take away from all this? Well, the story of Sailing Doodles is just this incredible case study of what the creator economy is really like. It shows you that behind that glamorous, perfect dream, there's often a story of just unbelievable resilience. And it proves that a loyal community can be the one thing that carries you through even the most unimaginable hardships.
And that really leaves us with one final big question, right? It's about that delicate balance between an authentic adventure and the demands of a business. And what is the true cost of living your dream when millions of people are watching your every single move?